Yo everyone, it's me again, Steve Doja here, back to more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and this time we have new patch notes on Super Limit Breaking Neo, and trust me, this is full of new surprises. Not only are they making new map changes and new gameplay changes, but also characters have massively changed stats now, even with unique buffs that we only see in games like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So without further ado, let's get into this. So, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero update notes is July 29th. An update will be implemented, so this is one day before the DLC actually releases. This update will just be available in the game naturally. But it's obviously meant for the actual DLC. There'll be some changes here. For example, they added a Rocky Land, White Valley, City Ruins, Clear Skies, and Molten Lava. So we have 3 new free maps, which is actually completely insane. That's the Goku Black Arc. Yeah, the Goku Black Arc City of Clear Skies. We have a natural White Valley Rocky Lands and Molten Lava area, which is obviously supposed to be a regular version of Destroyed Earth, for lack of a better word. In the trailer, they used it to obviously show off the new Z Broly area with like the new movie DLC, so that makes sense. And in the BGM, they added Zero, which is the new Super Limit Breaking Neo soundtrack that you hear in a lot of the trailers. That's what Zero is. And feature changes and adjustments. So in the options menu, they added an option to toggle the aura change that occurs when characters trained in limit break. Oh, so this is for the DLC. This won't actually apply to us tomorrow because the DLC wouldn't have actually released by then, unless if it has an early release. But this wouldn't actually matter if you don't have the DLC, because this is only for the limit breaker journey that affects how big your key charger looks. I also forgot to mention that Molten Lava, I hope Molten Lava isn't just a stage. I just low-key realized where that could work as Earth stage destruction. If you guys remember in Tenkaichi 3, most Earth stages were destructible because when you destroyed them, they always turned into ruined Earth, right? Like even if it was only turning into one map, it's at least immersion. That when you fire your big ki blast at the planet can't take it and it transports you to ruined Earth. I hope Molten Lava is just that for Earth stages. I really hope it's not just its own standalone stage, because that would be quite unfortunate when Earth has many stages that I think would be really, really cool if they were destructible. Like, Molten Lava itself is just doing exactly what Xenoverse did with Destroyed Namek, where all you do is take out the Namekian houses and change the color of the sky a tiny bit to create like a molten version of like Earth. Like you guys might remember Xenoverse 2 did that when they did the Transforming Vegeta DLC and the Kefla DLC, where if they added another version of Destroyed Earth that was literally just the Destroyed Namek, but they removed the Namekian houses, and the lighting is like slightly different. I think that's what Molten Lava is, except in Sparking Zero, you can actually destroy stages. So I really, really hope, finally, that we can destroy normal stages in Sparking Zero, and when we do, they turn into Molten Lava. I think that'd be really, really cool, obviously, and it would actually fix people's complaints about how there's only one destructible stage in the game after like 2 years of the game being out, because, yeah, like, think about that, bro. If you're supposed to be a Tenkaichi game, how do you only have like one destructible stage in the whole game? And then even then, stage destruction is really, really hard to do in Sparking Zero. Like, it's just so, like, weirdly annoying to do in Sparking Zero compared to Budokai 3 and Tenkaichi 3, but in Budokai 3, you got like 100% guaranteed stage destruction so long as you won like an ultimate attack minigame. So, yeah, please, Bandai Namco, I need this. Just add destructible stages, bro. Everyone would love it. It would make stage destruction happen way more frequently, by the way, because Namek being the only destructible stage in the game and then having really inconsistent stage destruction makes people think that stages aren't destructible, because you have one stage that it can happen on and it's complete RNG if it happens or not. But if it was applied to hella stages, way more stages in the game, people would be seeing it more often and be like, oh, heck yeah. So, I mean, they don't mention it in these patch notes, because if they mentioned it in these patch notes, I wouldn't be speculating right now, right? But I really do hope that they actually add that, because, yeah, that would be very, very cool for the game. Game mode changes and adjustments. So in Custom Battle, they added a high difficulty battles to extra battle. Ooh, I see. And they added new editable elements such as 2D cut-ins and text. So even more cut-ins and text. I'm very curious if these ones are better than the last, because Custom Battle gets updated frequently, but I don't see anyone make any more unique custom battles, even though it gets updated a lot. So maybe I'll have to make my own just to mess around with the settings and see what changes we have. And in Offline Battle, they adjusted CPU behavior. Okay, so are they easier or harder? When characters trained in Liberator Journey are available, a rule setting has been added to enable or disable their use. So it's basically just, hey, if you do the new game mode, you can choose whether the characters are super duper broken or just normal. Player match, they added the same thing, yeah, where you can choose whether you want to do limit breaking fights or not. And that makes sense. In survival mode, they increased the number of battles in the round robin survival challenge. Ooh. So if you were a survival mode guru, they made it even harder just for you. Battle system changes and adjustments. New action. Added linked blast. Is this the chain blast attack that they were talking about earlier? Added linked blast, a new action that allows a switched in character to immediately fire a blast attack upon entering battle. Yeah, this was the chain blast. They call it chain blast in the trailer, but it's called linked blast here. Okay, maybe it's a last second name change, or who knows. But they added sparking boost, a new action that consumes additional skill stocks to enter a more powerful sparking mode. I do remember that. I'm kind of curious how that's going to be like, because on characters who have ridiculous charge speed or really fast like max skill activations, or just really busted ultimates in general, this is going to be kind of scary. Z search adjusted the duration before Z search is lost so that it varies depending on the opponent. Do they mean if you're fighting an enemy that has like a higher key charge, basically it scales based on how much key your enemy has? For example, if it's Broly, you know, it's kind of hard to lose track of him, but if it's an android, maybe you lose track of them kind of easy. That would actually make the gameplay far more interesting with certain characters. I would like to see that. Or melee attacks in general. Okay, defending characters now recover a small amount of ki when hit by melee. So if you're blocking, you now get a little bit of ki while you're guarding hits. That's pretty cool. Burst melee adjusted to make activation easier even when guard assist is enabled. I see. Smash ki blast adjusted hit stun on impact to reduce the likelihood of consecutive hits. Oh, so smash ki blast just have less. Okay, so wow, imagine Sparking Zero nerfed key stuns before Xenoverse 2. That's unreal. That's weird. In all honesty, smash ki blast stunning is actually way easier to deal with and fight against than Xenoverse 2 ki blast stunning. So, and they still chose to nerf it, so that's insane. Short dash adjusted so that stepping is easier to perform when closing to short range via short dash. Okay. I see. And ascend and descent. Destructible buildings and rocks can now be destroyed through rapid ascensions and descensions. I swear you could already do that. I guess you couldn't. Now that the game's mentioned it, I don't recall a time where I've boosted upwards and I've destroyed a building I was inside, or boosted downwards and destroyed the roof of a building I was standing on. I didn't even know that didn't happen. Oh, here we have some big character changes. Okay, so Vegeta Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan limits, I break them. Oh, this is Blue Evolved. This gets changed every patch. Oh my goodness. They reduced the skill stock consumption. So now Blue Evolved will take a less skill stock to go into. If you guys remember before, it took literally all of Vegeta's skill stock. It took 5 skill stock for him to go into. I'm going to assume that they've reduced it to 4. Because if they reduced it to 3, that could be too OP. But I'm going to assume they reduced it to 4. Either way, though, they didn't say anything about adjusting the length of the transformation or the power-up. So this is still permanent. It's just that it's easier to go into now. So, again, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. This is one of the only games where Vegeta's better than Goku. I keep saying that. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is actually crazy. Blast changes and adjustments. All rush-type blasts that can cancel certain energy projectiles, adjusted to make it easier to nullify applicable projectiles. Okay. I do hope that they're still good, though, because rush-type ki blasts are the ones that you shoot energy volleys, right? Those are kind of like bad in my opinion. Like in Tenkaichi 3, they're amazing, but Sparking Zero, they're awful. The only upscale to them is that the Finger Blitz Barrage Blasts from Metal Cooler and Baby are way better in Sparking Zero than they are in Tenkaichi 3. Well, when I say rush-type blasts, I'm talking about the super attacks. I think this is just regular blasts, but to be fair, Sparking Zero calls most forms of attacks blasts, even if they're melee super, so I have no idea if this is referring to the super attacks or the regular ones. Let's see. Majin Du's rolling attack can no longer be countered with super perception. It could be. Oh my god, okay. Rebrand's maiden charge can no longer be countered with super protection. Kakunsa's primal charge can no longer be countered with super What the? There were just a few characters who were getting screwed over the whole time and I didn't even know. Vegeta Mini Super Saiyan 2 Head on Impact can no longer be detected / countered with super perception. Okay. So 4 characters in particular, I guess, getting kind of screwed over. That's kind of funny. Character adjustments. Okay, so here's the big one. Here's the big one to a lot of characters. Character changes and adjustments. Adjusted skill stock recovery from blast deflection for Goku Teen, Videl, Master Roshi, Max Power Roshi, Mr. Satan, Cyberman, Guldo, Android 19, Dr. Garo, Frieza for Soldiers, Z Broly. They didn't say which form, so I'm assuming it's just base. Lord Slug, Sporpovich, and Goku Mini. These characters also now get attack increases as their health decreases. So they actually added the Saiyan Zenkai buff feature to this game because Z Goku early, Goku Teen, Majin Vegeta, Future Trunks is a Super Saiyan, Goku Black, Rose Goku Black, Shallot, Future Gohan Super Saiyan, and Bardock now all get attack increases as their health decreases. So that's very interesting. Obviously this isn't every single Saiyan because they didn't say anything about Goku End here either, right? That's very important to notice, or Goku Super. But I think you just have to assume that when they say Goku Z early, they probably do mean just all of them, because it'd be weird if Super Goku didn't get Zenkais when Zenkais are pretty common in the tournament power. I mean, Goku Black is getting Zenkais, so Goku, you know, not getting them in his later forms, we'll have to wait and see how that goes, right? Also, like, Frieza Saga Vegeta is like pretty famous for getting a Zenkai to losing on Earth, but only Majin Vegeta's listed here. So again, we don't know the scope of this, if it's just only these characters specifically and nobody else, because again, Super Broly isn't here. That's kind of weird. The following characters now recover ki more quickly while stunned and gain more ki from button inputs during recovery. And it's Goku Teen, Majin Vegeta, Gohan Future Super Saiyan, Super Trunks, so that's the super thick one, Master Roshi at max power, second form Frieza and full power Frieza, Majin Buu, Mr. Satan, Bardock, Nappa, Super Zarbon, Dodoria, Raccoon, King Cold, Broly Z Super Saiyan, Broly Super Saiyan, Super Garlic Jr. I totally forgot he was Super. I thought his base form, I keep thinking his base form's in the game as well. It's not. That was only in Tenkaichi 3, but in this one they only added his relevant form, so that makes sense. Lord Slug, Final Form Cooler, Bojack, Full Power Bojack, Sin Shenron GT. I didn't know there was a super version of Sin Shenron. Spopovich, Fused Zamasu Half Corrupted, Ray Brian, Majin Buu, Third Eye Goma, and Charlotte. And now for something that's exclusive to Vegeta of all characters. For the following Vegeta variants, ki consumption for Rush Ki Blasts, Dash Rush Ki Blasts, and Jump Rush Ki Blasts have been reduced while their attack power has been decreased. So these things will do less damage, but it takes less ki to use them, meaning that for Vegeta, you'll be spamming Ki Blasts in general just more because you have more ki to do it. So Vegeta Scouter, Vegeta Early Super Saiyan, Super Vegeta, and this is something I also want to mention, by the way. They put Super Vegeta here as his own separate character. That's mostly because he literally is just called Super Vegeta. Z Vegeta End in Super Saiyan 1 and 2. Majin Vegeta also applies. GT Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4. They didn't mention regular GT Vegeta, but I guess that's because he's DLC. He's not actually in the game yet. Vegeta Super, and all of Vegeta Super's forms as well. And then we have Baby Vegeta, which is so funny that even Baby is getting this change. Vegeta Mini in Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, and then obviously in Big Super Saiyan 3. And now we have, when reflecting a blast with Super Perception, the reflected blast will now travel towards the opponent. Z Goku in Super Saiyan 3. That is extremely interesting. He has a unique buff, exclusive to him only, that when he does Super Perception on enemy blasts, they go back to the enemy. I am very, very, very interested as to how that's going to work. Because he has a full-on... You do not fire raw ki blasts at this character specifically. Because if he perceptions them, who knows how much damage you're going to take. They give Super Saiyan 3 Goku specifically this change, but I'm trying to think of a moment in the Buu Saga, or in any of the movies where Super Saiyan 3 Goku actually does that. I mean, it could be a reference to Goku versus Fat Buu, because that's the fight I remember the least, but I could have sworn that when Buu fired the Kamehameha at Goku, it didn't actually hit Goku. Maybe Goku reflected it, but I could have sworn that Goku just dodged it and then it blew up like a massive space, like over the horizon. If you guys know, let me know in the comment section down below, because this is still a really unique change. This applies to everything in the game. So Giants firing Ki Blast at Goku, any unique super attack that can be reflected overall. That's so cool, man. I kind of wish that they applied that to more characters, but we probably will see an increase in Super Saiyan 3 Goku players just for this unique mechanic alone, because this is huge if anyone goes for a reckless super attack on you. Because there are like a ton of Dragon Ball characters I can think of that this would also apply to, being able to reflect blasts directly back at people. There are so many characters in the show who just do this in general. Maybe they didn't remember, or maybe they'll just update this again after Limit Breaking Neo comes out, because I'm sure after Limit Breaking Neo, you know, the DLC comes out, they'll be like, oh, there's way more things we can do with the rest of the cast. Maybe this is all they could do before the DLC comes out, because again, I want to remind you, this is a day before the DLC comes out. It's not the actual day of the DLC, so the DLC released the day after, and maybe in a few days after that, they'll be like, oh, here's another free update patch. And then it'll update the amount of characters that can reflect blast directly back. Or maybe it'll actually even add more unique versions of Super Perception. Who even knows? Like, okay, if you're gonna give Goku this, can we have like Final Form Cooler get like a perception where he flies through the blast and hits you? Because I don't think that move is in the game. Like, Nova Strike, I don't even think goes through Ki Blasts in this game, or at least certain Ki Blasts. But back in like Tenkaichi 3, that move dominated. That move would fly through super attacks and actually hit people on the other side. It'd be cool if we could see more unique versions of Super Perception amongst cast characters. Because again, reflecting Ki Blast is huge. Like, that's probably the first rig I'm gonna check out actually, because that is an insane upscale for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That's gonna make him way better, especially against opponents that have really quick Ki Blast supers that people are gonna try and squeeze out in like any moment they can get on you. Like a Goku instant transmission perception would be cool. I guess you can already just use instant transmission before a super attack hits anyway, so that doesn't matter too much. But I don't know, I was thinking of like the Cell Saga where Goku avoids Cell's Kamehameha by teleporting and then following up with an attack. But you can technically just use regular instant transmission in the game if you want to do that. But yeah, no, I just think there's so many cool instances of like of characters doing like perception animations or reflecting Ki Blasts or avoiding super attacks just before they hit that they could actually take inspiration from. Oh man, that's so cool that they added that to Goku. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go over that anytime soon. Other changes and the final changes, they changed the game's font. That's that's interesting. Thank you for letting us know. And improves the overall stability and performance. So the game should perform even better. And honestly, I think that's pretty cool because obviously Sparking Zero, it can be still a little bit tricky for some people to get a good performance on Sparking Zero. So yeah. And that's a good place. Yeah, that's the end. I think that's a great place to end the video, lads. A lot of new changes, especially unique changes to characters in this, which I really, really like. And I'm going to be honest, there's probably going to be another patch notes after the DLC comes out for the DLC characters. And I'm not talking about just day one fixes in general. I mean just like anything that they need to do after like maybe like, I don't know, a day of the characters being out or a few days. Maybe they'll have to adjust some sort of bug that happens in the story mode. There'll be more patch notes. So if you guys are thinking, wait a minute, that's it, that's not nearly enough, I do want to remind you that none of the new characters are mentioned here. Only the new game mode, but none of the new characters are mentioned here because, again, they're not out yet, so there's not really any changes or adjustments you have to make to them. But I'm assuming that a lot of these would apply to them already. For example, any new versions of Vegeta are going to get the new Ki Blast trick. Any of the Saiyan characters are still going to get the Zenkai boosts at lower health, etc. But solid place to end the video. Again, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, obviously, again, please leave a like in the video. Don't forget to subscribe. It greatly supports the channel. And leave a comment down below as to what you would like to see next, fellas. Again, I do love you all. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Take care and peace. Bye-bye.